I think a science fiction film pretty well defines itself. Most of the pictures are about inventions or catastrophes outside the normal, experiments gone disastrously wrong, life on or from other worlds, the multiple extrapolations of the future. Now, accepting the possibility of chemically separating the evil nature of man from the good, and the first science fiction film may very well have been a short Scandinavian version of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde in 1897. Best known early example of science fiction on film surviving to this day is the French 1902 combination of elements from Verne's From the Earth to the Moon and Wells' First Men in the Moon in a short science farce. In 1909, French Pathé audiences were taken on a trip to Jupiter. In the following year, the film company of Thomas Edison himself offered a trip to Mars. In 1919, England finally filmed the first men in the moon by its most famous SF son, H.G. Wells. We turn back the clock to 1926, Metropolis. It was the best. It's a technical and technological masterpiece of Austrian auteur Fritz Lang, which is an indelible creation of a unique supercity of 60 million people held in the thrall of incredible malignant machinery, and features Ultima Futura Automaton, the most glamorous robot ever to grace the screen. H.G. Wells in Things to Come, 1935, created a science-film masterpiece for all time. If you have seen Things to Come and rated less than memorable, you flunked the course. Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers rocketed around the universe in 4 serials from 1936 through 1940, but of course these chapter plays bear the same relationship to science fiction films in general as comic strips to magazine and book science fiction. The first space film with international impact in the era of talking pictures was George Pal's Destination Moon in 1949, in color, with the fortuitous and felicitous combination of author Robert A. Heinlein and artist Chesley Bonestell collaborating closely on the creation of a memorable work, with Willie Lay as the technical advisor. Space films to follow, such as This Island Earth in 1955 and Forbidden Planet in 1956, were less documentary and more daring-do, culminating in the multi-million-dollar, brain-bewildering 2001 of Arthur Clarke and Stanley Kubrick. No science fiction film since Metropolis has been received with such religious fervor and fanatic devotion, or else condemned with passionate displeasure. No viewer, pro or con, faulted it for its fabulous special effects, but arguments will probably still rage into the 21st century as to what the significance of its ending was, if indeed it had any. Fared better The Day the Earth Stood Still, from the Harry Bates novelette anthologized in Adventures in Time and Space, original story title, Farewell to the Master. The Thing from Another World, 1951, by John W. Campbell, to be found in the same collection under its original magazine title of Who Goes There. The French Alphaville and Italian Tenth Victim, both 1965 releases, were perverse projections of possible futures. In addition to films previously called to your attention as worthwhile or outstanding, serious students of the science fiction cinema cannot afford to miss a viewing of any of the following should the opportunity afford itself. The War of the Worlds, George Pal out of H.G. Wells, with breathtaking special effects, which in fact won an Oscar in 1953. This is the actual model of the Martian war machine. The Island of Lost Souls, 1932, screenplayed from H.G. Wells' Island of Dr. Moreau, treating insidiously of the accelerated evolution of animals into manimals. The Invisible Ray, 1936, vintage Karloff and Lugosi at their mad, bad scientist at best. Them, best of the giant insect tales in 1954. The Time Machine, 1960, favorite of some George Pal enthusiasts. The Planet of the Apes, 1968, an eminently satisfactory treatment of screen science fiction. Journey to the Far Side of the Sun, 1969, excelled with its realistic models, obviously influenced by the first-rate miniature work of 2001.